but mature on a different level and kind of move a little bit faster as well. So it's kind of like you can't call your parents everything like you used to. You have to find a way to make a solution for whatever problem that you have. So college made me grow up 10 times faster, made me smarter, made me more sharper as far as thinking on my toes a little bit quicker, not putting myself in certain situations just because I didn't want that to call home and have to figure out something. I didn't want to overspend and then I'm broke. So it's kind of like, it made me pay attention and just become much more sharp than what I feel as if I would have been without, going and being on my own at 18 years old. So.
Gotcha. If you could sum up, because I'm sure, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. If you could sum up your college experience at Kent State in one word, what would it be and why?
A journey. It was a journey. And I say that because I had ups and I had downs. So there were times where I wanted to quit. When I fell out of nursing school, I said, okay, this is it. What else am I going to go to school for? I had it set in my mind that I was going to be a nurse. When I was taking my graduation pictures, we signed it back and said, "Your future nurse." I had bought all these materials, stethoscopes, books, uniforms, and now to start from square one, it was kind of like, what am I doing? But then I had to think to myself, every road that I take is not going to be easy. So knowing that, I have to knock the dust off, keep it moving, and keep going. So for that, I said, "What a journey?" Because like I said, I had my ups and my downs. There were times where I felt like I was alone at college because I didn't want to come home after certain things. I felt as if I wasn't prepared because I failed out of my class. I just kind of felt as if I didn't know what really to do. But then I had that turning point when I decided to change my major. I said, okay, I'm going to use this as an experience and I'm going to actually learn from it. And it's made me grow into somebody completely different than what I expected that I would have been when I first started.
Yeah, we've had a similar experience. It's crazy. I started off pre-med, thought I wanted to be a pediatrician, which was just based off of I really like science and I really want to make a lot of money. But once I got into that chemistry, that sophomore, junior chemistry, it killed me. It killed me. And to be honest with you, I wasn't willing to put in the amount of work that it would take to be successful in those level of classes. And what happened was after my during the summer after my junior year, I did an internship at a hospital. It was rewarding, but I didn't like going every day. And so I had to really reconsider, is this something I want to do for the rest of my life on top of having another 4 to 6 years of schooling to get to that position? And so I said, you know what? I want to still impact kids in a positive way. I want to go into education. I can see a couple of people are kind of agreeing with us. So for you, you said there were some peaks, there were some valleys. I want you to talk a little bit about what was your highest point or that highest peak in your college career, not including graduation. Of course, that's the culmination of everything. But what was that highest peak and what was that lowest valley? If you could talk about those a little bit.
I think my highest peak was probably getting accepted into nursing school because I knew, even though I didn't make it, I worked my butt off to get accepted into that program. I had built my GPA up. I had did all the interviews. I went to all the study sessions. I put the work in to get there.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is solidifying that this is what I'm supposed to do. I found my purpose. I found my passion. I have it. That was, and I actually found out it was my 19th birthday when I found out. I was out of town for my birthday. We were out in Atlanta, and I got the email that I got accepted to nursing school. So that right there, that was the best summer of 2015. That was the best summer. I was like, okay, I got accepted. I'm doing good. Everything is perfectly fine. Then, probably say my lowest peak. My lowest peak was probably the same when I failed and I had to kind of start from scratch because I didn't know what to do. When I had failed, I ended up transferring colleges and I went to Cleveland State for a semester. I said, okay, they have it was a health science program. I said, okay, I'll try this. And I was like, okay, see how this works. But I wasn't secure and I wasn't finding myself and I was still lost. So it was like I'm moving, going to different schools, trying different programs, taking a lot of different classes, talking to different people. But it's like I'm lost. No matter how many times I go to a different school, how many classes I take, I was just lost. And I said, okay, this is not gonna work. So once I finally started getting myself back on track, then that's when I knew, okay, we finally have the ball back rolling at that point.
Okay. I want you to elaborate a little more on that loss feeling, because when I as I work with my students, it's actually that point at which you were feeling lost, not really knowing where you wanted to move, how you wanted to move. That's the point where students either choose to keep going like you did, or choose to give up. And I'm trying to find like what is the common thread, what is the thing, the person that pushed you to keep going. So you said you started to figure it out, but I notice a lot of students actually don't get to that point where they figure it out, or they aren't patient enough, or just don't push through. So can you talk more about one, how it felt to be lost? What were the things that you told yourself? And then what did you actually have to do to get out of that space and into a space where you could use that experience to move forward?
Yeah, feeling lost is not a great feeling, just because you feel like you're just going with the wind. And so nobody wants to just have, I was having too many ups and downs. So it was just a feeling of just, for me, it was almost like living in a disaster day by day. You wake up, you're doing the same thing. You waking up, going to class. You're going to a job because, working as a part-time job through college, working a job, going to school. But it's kind of like, okay, what's going on? But to get me through that, I come from a praying family. So specifically, my grandmother, she prays all the time. No matter how sassy she is, my grandmother's a prayer. And my mother, who is, I'll say, that's my biggest influence, my mom. Because at times it was just my mom and I. So we've been through struggles together. So knowing that, my mother has always instilled in me to never give up and to always keep going. So there would be times where I didn't want to call, but I called home and I said, okay, Ma, I just need you to talk to me. I'll call crying. I don't know what to do. She would sit on the phone and she would give me words of affirmation. She would keep instilling different values in me. She would pray over me. She would come down, because at the time I ended up moving off campus. She would come down. She would just sit and talk and pray with me. And so things like that just kept getting me through. And knowing that I've seen my mom struggle, and sometimes being a single parent. So at what point do I have at what point can I say, I'm done, I'm just going to stop? If I can see you do it, being a single mom with a child, and she went back to college after she had me. So she went and got her bachelor's, then her master's while I was young, and now she's in school to get her doctorates. So I didn't have half of the responsibilities that you had at my age. So at that point, I could never sit up here and give up, knowing where I come from and the things that you sacrificed, what my family has sacrificed to get to that point. So my grandparents didn't go to college. My mom was the first in the family to go to college. So at that point, it's kind of like you don't have any room for failure or any excuses to not do what you have to do. You got to knock the dust off and keep it moving. I had to be an adult, and so failing and being lost made me feel as if, okay, you have to mature at this point. You can't keep being a 20-year-old who's lost, or well, I don't know. That's not an excuse anymore. That's not an excuse. People are doing it before at that point and after at that point. So you got to keep moving. You can't keep using excuses. That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I got to a point in my college career, even though I started off on a scholarship, eventually lost that scholarship, not focusing in school the way I needed to. Changing majors from pre-med biology to education was like on two different ends of the spectrum. So a lot of those credits didn't transfer over. And so I had to start over pretty much as a freshman. And once I got to my 6th year in school, they pulled all federal financial aid. So I had to drop out. I didn't know how long it was going to take me to save money to go to school. Luckily, it just took me about a semester. But like you said, you have that support system. My family wouldn't give up on me. I had people pushing me. Of course, God never gives up on you. And so I had a lot of things working in my favor. What would be your advice to those students who don't have that support system, who don't have that parent or brother or anybody that they can really call? Is really all on them? What would be your advice to them when they're lost to keep pushing? What to do?
You have to find a sense of confidence, and knowing that you have to truly dig within yourself and find a sense of who you really are. If you know that you want something bad enough, no matter who you have or who you don't have, you're gonna make it work. And a lot of times it's easier said than done. But when you know what your goal is, everything else is that's an outside distraction. So if it wasn't my mom or my close immediate family, I may not have had anybody. So at that point, I still couldn't use that as a reason to give up. So you have to really dig within yourself. And sometimes for those that do pray, you have to pray, because the answers that you don't know, God can give you those answers. So you have to be willing to reach out and find those different resources, even though you may not have certain things. So it's so many ways that you can find a sense of peace and find a sense of what you need to get you through those moments. And it's not easy to find sometimes, but you have to be willing to step out and find those different things. So I would definitely say sometimes it starts with you, and actually figure out within yourself, what is your driving force. And once you find out what that driving force is, it can help you push to find other resources as well to kind of latch on to certain things, I say.
Yeah. Right now, that's what I'm trying to help students to discover, because I totally agree with you. I think it's something in those students that I find keep pushing. It is some something